And then there were two. Welcome into the ATB show at the buzzer. It is Timmy and Billy in beautiful downtown New Hampshire and our LA studios. Coach Adam is on assignment. I don't know if the storm's coming. I feel like Scotty Dukes is like, maybe he's securing the pool to the backyard so it doesn't leave when the wind comes. And the weather's all over the place. We'll talk about that at some point because I've got charity golf on Friday, trying to play on Sunday. And ironically, we should be playing the Miami Hurricanes, but we do have, unfortunately, number 3 Florida State coming to Chestnut Hill University on Saturday, which should be both a athletic and meteorological debacle. So keeping an eye on the weather as well. And I know you and I are both dorks. Well, maybe I get a little more dorky with the tech when it comes to the Apple stuff, but I don't know if you kept an eye on the reveal yesterday for the Apple Watch 9, the Apple Watch Ultra 2, and the new iPhone 15, 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, 15 Pro Max Ultra, all that stuff. Did you keep an eye on any of that rubbish? It was brought to you by our dear friends, whom we adore at AAA Work Trucks. If you want to say hi to them for us before we get started.
Okay, yes. Thank you to AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet AAA can take care of it for you. Give them a call at 866-783-6222 or check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com.
Perfect. So because I don't know how I tripped over this a while ago, and I'm late to the party, which is really funny because when I finally left the Samsung universe and went to iPhone, I opted in on the 13 launch, so it's been 2 years now. And I remember saying to Adam, like, how excited he'd be because he was an iPhone, and now he's gone back. So he's the reason we're a Green Bubble text thread, just so the show knows, so the rest of the show knows. It's not you, it's not Uncle Dukes, it's not me. And at one point, I tripped over the fact, and I've got friends that there's a store here in Portsmouth across the street, called Mac Edge, a great group over there, and one of our dear friends, Maddie, who's always like, you can't really trust anything. Like, listen, when they drop something, you should let it work itself out. Because there was a window where Apple was infamous for having some faux pas and people's phones got bricked and stuff like that. But Apple does a real good job. I'll give them this much. Like yesterday, you could order the new watches. And tomorrow, Friday, you can order the new phones, and they'll be here next week. I do love that they do that. They have the announcement, and then you can order the stuff immediately. I have no desire to get the 15. My 13's fine. There's nothing new. The 15 is the 14. And the 14, there were some big changes with the dynamic island and stuff like that. But go ahead.
So the only thing I heard is there's a new charger now with the new phone.
So they're leaving the lightning cable. They're going to USB-C.
Oh,
and here's what's ridiculous. Here's what's ridiculous. That is not monumental. That is not groundbreaking. And I will say this, and I stand by this because Janina and I have talked about it. When I was going to iPhone 13, Aiden was getting his second ever phone. He wanted the iPhone, so he got what I got. Francis was getting his first phone. We all got the new iPhones. Janina wanted at the time the Samsung Galaxy 21 Plus or whatever it was. And honest conversation, like I never had an issue with my Samsungs, but I was just like, the last thing I hadn't done was the phone. Everything else in my life was Apple, right? So I'm like, I'm just going to complete the universe here, the ecosystem, as it were. And we watch a lot of videos. I dork out on watching the videos when they compare the cameras and the video and all that kind of stuff. And Janina's as you know, is way more of a shutterbug than I am. Like, I'll get the nicest version of the iPhone, but I'm not taking pictures the way she does. We go to events and she's recording everything. I say this all the time, and this is me, gray hair, cane, waving it at the clouds. I'm always fascinated. There's that great picture, and this is how I feel. There's that great picture of LeBron breaking the points record. And everyone in the crowd has their phone up, except for Phil Knight. Uncle Phil from Nike is sitting enjoying the moment. And I completely appreciate archiving things, and I understand that's the age we live in, but I'm just not that person. So it doesn't matter if my phone has the greatest camera and all that kind of stuff. But for her, video and all that, and by and large, to your earlier point, Samsung has led the way on a lot of the tech. But then Tim Cook and the Apple kids come out yesterday and they make it sound like they're, creating, they discovered fire. If you want the story, and we're not going to tell the whole story, but the only reason they went to USB-C rubber shoes is because the European Union basically said that they are going to make it mandatory. And I forget the depths of why they're doing that, but that's why Apple's doing this.
Well,
So,
my iPad that I have now is
already USB-C. Yeah, already USB-C. And
I think there were some phones that had it already also.
The nicest thing about this is everything is going to be USB-C.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's a much better connection than the Lightning, because I have problems with my Lightning right now. My phone, I think I have the X, so the 10.
Okay. Yep.
iPhone, and I'm starting to have connection problems with the Lightning cords, so I'm probably gonna have to upgrade maybe this year, if not next year.
And I tell you right now, if you do wait another year, because I don't sell enough drugs to go and buy all the phones for my family, so when we upgrade, I do all the leases. So my in-laws' leases are up. Janina's phone is the longest one because actually she finally got rid of her Galaxy because she fell out of love with it officially, and she finally went iPhone. So some of mine are up. I've got a few more months on the others, and then I'm going to enjoy no car payments for a while because my T-Mobile bill right now is service for all of us, which includes 6 handsets and 3 Apple Watches. It's a pretty big number. And when I don't have all those leases on it anymore, it's going to be nice, and I'll enjoy that for a little while. But what I was going to say, and it makes sense with tech, where the 15s are dropping on Friday, and there's really no big difference between the 15 and the 14. Dynamic Island came out last year. I would get the 14 and save yourself some money. People would argue still the best iPhone that's available right now. You got to sort of look on eBay for it and get one that's unlocked. The 11. People love the 11. The 11 is a phenomenal phone. I just got the 13 because that's what we were getting into when we got into it, and I love it. So I'm downloading right now. I've always been involved with the public betas. So the new software that's coming out is for the iPhone is iOS 17, and the new watch software is watchOS 10. And I'm downloading this right now just to see. I don't know. So if my phone bricks and you never hear from me again, that's what happened. Other than that, go ahead.
So I usually what I usually do, I buy my phone through Best Buy with the 0% financing for whatever 18 months or whatever I get at the time. Yeah, because that's we were doing the phones on the phone bill, and it just would make my wife sick when she would go pay the bill. So even though we're not saving any money by doing it, we're paying the same thing, but it's just better to have 2 separate bills. Well, I always pay my Best Buy bill myself, so she doesn't see that at all.
I just ran the numbers out of curiosity because you can go on like one of the T-Mobile, and I'm like, okay, if I trade this phone in towards a new one and what they would give me, my monthly lease would be down to like $9 a month for the balance. So I'm going to get good money for this. Mine's in really good shape. I would argue Cameron's is. Everybody's is in good shape. Nobody's. I mean, I know Cameron and Janina and Bubs have all dropped their phones, but they've got good cases on them because I buy everybody good cases because I don't do all the Apple Care on all the phones. It's like $1 million to do all that. I put Apple Care on my watch. I put it on our watches because those are more apt to get slammed around. But I don't know. It's very expensive, but I do love all the tech dorkiness, and there's nothing exciting coming up. Well, no, he wasn't. He wasn't. You just gave 75.
He has to be.
For the 4 minutes that Aaron Rodgers was on the field at MetLife at the Meadowlands, he got $17 million a minute. Because that $75 million is guaranteed. Wow. He made $17 million per minute for the 4 minutes he was on the field, which is fascinating. Yes,
I need to up my Patriots prediction by a game now
because of the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had them splitting, but now if unless they go out and grab another quarterback to replace Wilson, because Wilson we know is not the answer.
Yeah.
And he is the reason why the Patriots beat them one game last year, and then he didn't play in the second game. It was, I think, Mike White played in the second game.
Yeah.
But basically, because of their poor quarterbacks, that's how they beat them last year. Because the Jets have a phenomenal defense. It's just been the quarterback play that they need a Trent Dilfer. They need a guy to manage, not have bad turnovers, and they can win a lot of games just with their defense. But if you have a quarterback that doesn't make good decisions and is turning the ball over a lot, that's how they lose most of their games last year.
Did you watch Hard Knocks at all?
I did not.
We usually watch it religiously. Janina doesn't like watching it all the way through because she hates when it gets to the point where they make the cuts. She doesn't love that. She doesn't like competition shows like AGT or anything like that where people get eliminated because it just makes her uncomfortable. So we didn't watch it. I wish I had, because people that I hear talking on the radio about the fact that they did watch it, and this happens invariably. Anytime I watch a show like that, you grow endeared. Just like if you watch the Lions Hard Knocks, it was difficult to not grow endeared to that team and to Campbell and all that stuff. So people were saying, no matter what you think of Aaron Rodgers, he was great on that show, and he's showing up like a leader, and he's doing all the right things. And it would have been really fun and interesting to watch what I did see, and I don't know if I'd go back and watch Hard Knocks now because it's sort of ruined, because the spoiler alert of he's not going to be involved. But the meme I've seen, not the meme, but the cut I've seen on social media is when they're bringing in Xavier Gibson, which is funny. I wasn't sure when I first saw his name if it was Gibson or Gibson, but it's Gibson with a P, the kid that ran it back. They bring him in when they're doing the cuts on the show, and he comes in, and they always play it up for TV. And they're talking about, we know you worked really hard. We appreciate everything you've done, blah, blah, blah. And they tell him he's got a spot. And Robert Saleh stands up and gives him a handshake and pulls him in. He's like, you're going to do great things for us. And then, yep. What a great night to be a Jets fan. I don't know if it's going to actually melt into the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if Zach Wilson, maybe his second stage he's going to show up, but I don't know, man. I don't. Yeah. And do you think there's any validity? I truly don't, but it's fascinating to see that they would. Do you think they even called Brady? You'd have to, wouldn't you have to?
Well, the thing is, he cannot play for any team because he's part owner of the Raiders.
Oh, that's right. He's
so
off
I don't know if anyone even asked or not. But so one thing, I don't know. I've never read into it to see exactly what he said.
How's that going to work with Fox, Billy? When he starts calling games next year, does he have to recuse himself from broadcast for Fox?
They'll probably keep him away from
Isn't that interesting?
Games, I'm sure. Yeah.
But what if? All right, but it's the Raiders and the Chiefs, and it's Jimmy G and it's Mahomes, and they're battling for the AFC West.
I mean, it depends.
And it's a Fox game. And it's 425. I don't know.
It depends if he's going to be the A team or not, you know?
Oh, don't you think he's the A team?
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Interesting. All right, you were saying. Sorry, go ahead.
So the thing with Aaron Rodgers, I had never read anything on exactly what he said, but I have heard things about him saying things about 9/11 that he didn't believe it was a real thing that happened. You know, he's a truther when it comes to that.
Okay.
And he comes out on 9/11 waving the American flag out of the tunnel, and then that happens to him. So maybe it's karma that hit him in the Achilles.
It was when he first went down, his left foot, the ankle was just cocked at a weird angle, right? It was it was really weird. And then when they kept playing it and slowing it down, you could actually see his calf muscle ripple up the leg. Yeah. So gross. So gross. And it was weird though, because he stood up and then he just like, okay, I got to sit down. And before he sits
tried
down,
to walk it off. He thought it was just
looks at the sideline, shakes his head, and he just sits down. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And the reaction, if you were watching Peyton and Eli on their channel, right there, their ESPN, whatever. They run their show. And they show him come out of the tent and get on the cart. And Peyton's like, a cart, what are we doing? Because nobody had any idea. Then when the MRI comes back negative, everybody's like, oh, shit, it's going to be the Achilles. Ugh. Who do they play this week? And we have Miami Sunday night, correct? I believe.
Yes. Little Shoes is going to that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His best friend's dad has season tickets, and
okay,
his friend's a Dolphins fan, so his friend always goes to the Dolphins game, and
sure.
So I think last year or 2 years ago he went to the Dolphins game with him. Then also, let's see, New York Jets schedule. Oh, they have the Cowboys.
Oh, they're gonna be So now.
Oh, can you imagine Dallas taking out the two New York teams? And I mean, if
40-0. I mean, 40-0. I couldn't believe that. I mean,
the Jets' defense is better, so maybe they don't put up 40. But I could see if Wilson is how he was last year, I could see them getting shut out.
Where is it?
It's in New York.
Really? Dallas is coming back? Really?
Oh no, at Dallas.
They're going to Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so that
they're going to Patriots.
They're going to forward the schedule. That'll be on TV. Dallas and the New York Jets with this storyline of Zach taking over is going to that is going to be. They're going to figure out.
It's a 425 game, so it's probably a national game.
Yep. 4,000% that. Yep. That'll be a national game. Interesting. And I got to tell you, it was funny. I texted Bubs because when he went to school, he took we had a 1080 27-inch monitor that's sort of just been floating around. It was probably on a computer desk somewhere in our house for some time. And then he would use it when friends would come over because, as you know, when they all get together, everybody brings their own Xbox, right? Nobody goes. They don't play. Yeah, my son and all his friends, when they don't all come over and get on one Xbox, everybody brings their own and their own monitor. So it's a shit show. They're all in the same room. So he's like, well, I'll just have this for when people come over if they need a monitor. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but sure. And then you go out and they're in the kitchen drinking beer and smoking cigarettes, and everybody's got their own monitor. That's behind us for now. And he brought that to school, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna want something better than this. So we get out there. His roommate Ryan bought himself a newer monitor, a little bit bigger, and I just said, this is terrible. And you can't watch all the things on it because I'm like, you can our direct TV stream, he can access that, Netflix, all of our apps, right? And he's like, so we're standing there. He's like, I want a TV. I'm like, all right. So we drop ship him a TV. So he's got his TCL TV now, and I texted him. I said, don't forget, Red Zone channel is 211, and he's like, yep. And then we're talking, and he's just like, he goes, I hate that we only have this for a week. I'm like, no, you're thinking of Sunday Ticket. Sunday Ticket, as a direct TV customer, when they had it, they would give you week one free.
Yeah.
Right? They were handing you some free drugs through the fence at the schoolyard, get you hooked and get you to come back. Yeah. And I said, no, this is Red Zone. And he couldn't make sense of it. So I don't know if you know this. When you had if you had direct TV, which we did, I would get Sunday Ticket almost every year because I would either fight with them and get a reduced price or get real mad and get it for free or whatever, because they would always just give it away, right? And then there were some years they were just like, well, we gave it to you last year and I just refused to pay for it. And then we weren't around enough to care about it, right? Because we were doing stuff and he had Pop Warner as he was getting older. So he didn't understand. And I'm like, well, you have to understand, you didn't have, as a direct TV customer, which was madness, you wouldn't get Red Zone unless you paid for Sunday Ticket. They went hand in hand. And if you think about it, it makes sense, because if I had access to Red Zone, I don't want Sunday Ticket. Sunday Ticket makes sense if you and Steph decide we're going to live in Phoenix, because you always want to be able to watch the Patriots game.
Yeah.
But I think if you live locally, if you're a huge football head, I don't
even know if I would do that.
I still think Red Zone's better.
Yes.
And it was different. The last time I had Red Zone, it was the DirecTV version. Oh God, I'm forgetting his name now. The kid that used to do it for DirecTV. It was good. It was nice to have it again. And this Sunday is one of those Sundays. It's going to be great.
Big ears, right?
Yeah, Siciliano. I can't think of his first name for the life of me. And this Sunday is going to be great. We're playing golf early, and we'll be home for the 1 o'clock kickoff, and we have it all day. Leave it on Red Zone because the Pats are at night. It's phenomenal, and it's baked in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not free on DirecTV Stream now, but it is part of the sports pack, which I pay for, so I have NESN and all that stuff, right? Yep. So that was my big reason for staying with DirecTV Stream, because you go to Fubo or anything like that, and you have to. Fubo doesn't have NESN, so you'd be forced. I think Fubo TV doesn't have NESN. You'd be forced to buy NESN 360, which is it $30 a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $360 a year. I think that's how they came up with the name, right? It's ridiculous. So it was really nice having Red Zone. And that Bubba was like, "Wait a minute, we have this all year." I'm like, "Yes, dude, yes."
Oh, it's if you do fantasy sports,
it's awesome. It's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, I find so.
How did you do, by the way? I'm dying to hear how you did over the weekend. All three of my leagues, which we'll get to in a second. I'm in a league here with some of my agents. I'm in our show league, and I'm in the neighborhood league. All three horrible. I mean, I actually did okay, but I lost all three. And Janina's like, "That's because you draft the same team in all three leagues," which I do, because yes, Kirk Cousins was horrible in 3 leagues for me over the weekend.
He wasn't. I have him in my family league. He did.
I'm joking. He wasn't horrible. My teams collectively found a way to lose all 3 leagues, which was great.
Yeah, I won both leagues that I'm in. And I believe I was the top point scorer in the family league. And I played against Adam.
Kills me playing Mother Dukes in the ATB league. And I kept I put Brandon Ayuk in one of my, did I pull him in all 3? I had Brandon Ayuk and Zay Flowers. And I started Zay in all 3. And Brandon Ayuk went off.
Yeah, I have Brandon Ayuk. He was on my bench.
And
he was on my bench. I would have had another almost 40 points.
I thought to myself, you set your lineup with your heart, not your head. I should have let Brandon just go and have a week, or Zay, I should say. Zay, just see how he did. And he did all right. He had some good numbers, but he didn't have 40+ points like Brandon Ayuk did, which was.
All my players went either the day or the afternoon on Sunday. Going into Sunday night, I was up 100 points, maybe more.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was up 100. The team I'm playing against has Dallas defense. He got 60 points. After Sunday night, I was only up 40, and he had 2 players going Monday night.
Oh, boy.
But they weren't really good players, but, I mean, you never know. Anyone could go off. But, I ended up winning by 20 in that league.
What's your feeling? Do you like having somebody on your team going Thursday night? And not if they're a no-brainer. Like back in his heyday, if Brady was going Thursday night, of course you were going to start them. But I find myself trying to not have people go Thursday night.
Really? No,
there's something about it I don't love. Everyone loves Monday night because they could save your week. But Thursday night gives me the heebie-jeebies.
The history of Thursday night games is usually they're a bad game, and there's not a lot of scoring. So on that fact, I don't care, but I like having someone in every time. So I like having a Thursday night. I like having a day.
Okay.
I like to have someone to watch that's on my team. So I like Sunday night, Monday night. I like having someone. So it was weird. I had no one Thursday night, Sunday night, or Monday night. All my players played Sunday and Sunday afternoon.
Yep. You don't have to say, although if you do say, I will honor it, and I will not make a move, because I'm probably not going to make a move anyway, let's be honest. Is there somebody that popped up in week 1? You said, oh, I got to go grab them. Or have you already done it?
I've already done it.
Of course you have. I'm trying to remind myself tomorrow's Thursday. You got to set 3 lineups.
It's because I picked up the wide receiver from the Rams,
Who?
Akuya. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. So in the ATB league, it was I picked him up. It was let me see how you.
Akuya.
Oh, that's the wrong. Oh, that's it. Oh, I put him in Nakua. Nacua.
Okay. You already grabbed him. Okay.
Puka Nakua
I love it.
for the Rams. Yep, I picked him up
From the Isle of Tonga.
and I switched kickers. I picked up Nick Folk and dropped the guy I had.
Nicky Folk printing 3-pointers, right?
Yeah.
God bless him.
He had a really good week, so I picked him up in my home league, my family league. I had the highest score, so I had the last pick in the waiver.
Okay.
So I ended up I got Kendrick Bourne. I put in for because I lost.
What a day for him! What a day!
I had J.K. Dobbins, so he's out for the season.
Oh,
so
he's right next. He's right next to Aaron.
I had him in both leagues.
Oh,
yeah. So I dropped him and picked up Bourne in the family league and at Nakua in the ATB league.
Okay.
I was in for 6 different players in my family league, but because I had the last pick, I only got actually he was actually my second pick actually, but and I put in for Mac Jones, but I think Tyler ended up getting him. Because Mac Jones had a good week. Whether it's sustainable or not, we don't know. But I was like, I'll take a chance and put him on my bench.
4,000%, dude. The penalties, right? And they kept saying like it's early and this is going to happen to a lot of teams, and a little bit of this is because they only have, they only have 3 preseason games. There's none of that. They
didn't play anyone in the preseason games, and their practices, they can't be fully padded hitting practices every practice. So
right.
They haven't played a full game until the first week, and they haven't hit really that much. So that's it. I don't know. But that's what the Players Association wants.
I was texting back and forth with the great Bobby Dugan, NFL extraordinaire, our NFL insider. And we were just like, what is happening? What are we doing? It was so good to see them catch up and make it, knowing that you were going into a second half with a game in honor of Brady. I love what they did. Well, the Brady thing, great explanation, by the way, on the Brady thing. I don't know if you heard the dirt on the shirt. Did you hear the dirt on the shirt?
No. What shirt?
It's so funny. He is so planned. So Janina made the comment. She's like, okay, that shirt doesn't look right. They found, if you notice, you got to go back and look at it.
That's one of his playing jerseys, right?
That shirt is from the year of Deflategate.
Oh.
Because he talked about, in his quick speech, he talked about the adversity they went through.
Yeah, because Steph was like, what the hell jersey is he wearing? I'm like, that's one of his actual jerseys he's wearing. Somebody was saying, oh, he's wearing, they rushed to the pro shop and got him a women's cut. That shirt was from Deflategate. Yeah.
And that was all planned. Like, you have to go deep down the wormhole for this, but I'm here for it. That was all a non-physical, demonstrative middle finger to Roger Goodell. Yeah. All of it. All of it. There's so much hatred still there, and I love that about him, and I love that they did what they did. You could tell they knew they needed to make it more. I think their original plan was he'll be in the glass box with Bobby, and he's just going to wave, and we're going to play a video. And I think when they saw the ticket prices get out of control, they're like, we got to do something. Because even what they did looked paltry. Like, I love that he came running out. I love that he ran to the end zone. Then he runs back, and it's just him and his kids. You know, you heard all this news that his whole family's there, and I didn't expect to see Giselle. She's busy with the yoga instructor. I know that.
Well, she's not part of his family anymore. But
I'm
everyone
aware.
everyone
I'm
else
aware.
was there.
I'm aware. No, I know. But the whole stage, all of it
Even
was
Euclid.
Yeah, yes, even the brother-in-law. That was all, and I love that he made the announcement, and you could tell that like it was I shouldn't say scripted. It was asked of him. We need you to say that you're a Patriot for life. Because Johnny,
I think he's for real with that.
I don't think that he's not, but I don't think he would have said that if there weren't like, could you do us a favor? The crescendo of your speech is you're going to say you're a Patriot for life, and we're going to tell them that on 6, and I love the 6, 12, 24, love it, love it, love it, love it. 6 rings, right? And the red jacket, all that stuff. Yes, perfect. A whole night dedicated to him. That'll be amazing. It was really well done. It would have been amazing if he made a comeback because you were ready for the headlines. Like in Brady fashion, Mac gets it done, all this kind of stuff. It was the penalties. Some really stupid penalties. He looked really good when he was executing. And I don't know. Like I'm cautiously optimistic. I forget what I even predicted. What did I say? Did I say 11-6?
No, 9 and 8.
I said 9 and 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at me. I want to move the number. I don't. I'll stick with 9 and 8.
I was 7 and 10. You were 9 and 8. Adam was 10 and 7, and Scotty Dukes was 12 and 5.
Yeah, I feel like Scotty Dukes was like 19 and 2. Very excited. Very,
Right.
very excited.
Yeah, it was the way it started off. I'm like, oh man, they're losing 30-10. I thought they were getting blown out, but they, actually the Philly offense didn't really do anything against their defense. It's like everything was on the turnovers.
Yep. They look good. Well, and if and you could argue this is what happens with every team, but like Belichick brand of football is after chicken giving into December in preparation for the playoffs, they start to cook. And they look really good. And if this is week 1 of what we look like against the team that went to the Super Bowl, like I'm not really upset about how they looked. I didn't know what to expect. If we won, I'd be like, yeah, I expected it. I wouldn't say that, but like I'm not upset with the result, and I'm not like, oh my God, it's a moral victory. We're way beyond that.
Right.
I think Mac being here next fall is dependent upon what happens right now. I think Bill's relationship with Bob is dependent upon what happens, and I think everything's in place, and we just got to get our shit together. And the penalties were killers, just absolute killers, just killers. And you could argue anybody that lost probably has a stack of penalties, but for us, you can blame it on that, And Boudet with the non-toe drag, it's sort of shocking from an LSU receiver. You think you would expect more from an SEC receiver. You would expect more, and also we can't blame a freshman. Like when you're blaming a loss on one thing, what would a good head coach, what would a good quarterback, what would a good leader say? It shouldn't have come down to that one thing.
Right.
That's everybody's fault. And then Mac takes the podium and puts the whole fucking loss on his back. I loved all of it. Like his post-game press conference, he's like, I'm going to wear all of it. Like, yep, awesome. And he's on the, oh my God, I went to school with these guys tour because he just played Hurts. Now he's got Tua.
Yep.
And Tua look good. And that's just it. Like I think the outlier, the anomaly is what if he gets hit? Well, what if he doesn't get hit? What if he doesn't get hit? He's a good player and he's got Tyreek Hill.
So, you're saying Tua. Yeah. I mean, well, I know they were talking about his helmet. They got him a new helmet this year, so more protection apparently. But they look like a freight train, so we'll see what Belichick can scheme up for that offense because Tyreek Hill he had over 200 yards receiving.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't think their running backs did anything. It was all their pretty much Tyreek.
Yep.
But I was, it started off rough, but I was pleasantly surprised on how well the offense looked, especially with the offensive line, because that was my big question mark was, because the little bit that Mac Jones did play in the preseason, he took a bunch of hits in a very small amount of time, and I'm like,
Right.
he's not going to make it through the season if this is how it's going to be every week.
Yeah, they did better than expected.
Yes.
I pictured that to be just based on all the conversation and, the fact that they were scouting for new linemen 20 minutes before the season started. I thought that was going to be horrifying compared to what it was.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of work to do, but like super excited. I can't wait for Sunday night. I'm going to say it again. I love that we have Red Zone all afternoon and then the Pats Sunday night. The question is, can I stay awake for the whole thing? I failed. I was trying to watch the Giants Cowboys, and I'm just like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I gotta shut this down.
Sunday night, Monday night, I go to bed at halftime. But when the Patriots, because that's the hard part is my normal schedule is I wake up at 4:00 in the morning and then hit the gym and then get all the recordings done for all the posts that I do, and so I do a lot of stuff before I leave for work, and that's if I stay up to watch the whole game, that's gonna put it's gonna hurt to wake up at 4:00. So I mean, actually, and usually it goes to like almost midnight too. So it's
you know what? It's funny to bring that up. The thing that has been interesting with college football is the not stopping the clock. Not stopping the clock, except inside 2 minutes, and yeah, that's moved the needle quite a bit. I mean, and I'm not looking for them to necessarily do anything with the NFL, but that's made a little bit of a difference. It shaved about 20 minutes off game times for sure.
Yeah.
Although last week it didn't because we had a 2 hour and 10-minute delay at Chestnut Hill, which
oh
my God.
You guys had Notre Dame game had a
2 minutes
hour
left in the
and 40
game.
minute.
Yep, 2 minutes left in the game.
It was so the Notre Dame game got delayed. It was in the first quarter that they had lightning.
Yeah, 2 minutes left in the game, 2 hour and 10-minute delay.
Oh my God! Did you stay till the end?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say
no. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Was the game over at that point? I didn't see what the final score was.
Came back out and finished it off. No, winning at that point. Yes, winning at that point. But should have been anyway. But we let the Worcester Catholics show up because that's what we do. It's what we specialize in. The definition, if you look on Merriam-Webster, it is what's the phrase? We play to the level of our opponent.
Oh,
like we prove. Hopefully, Father Leahy's listening. We proved to the universe that we should be an FCS team.
Oof.
I'm waiting. Somebody proved me wrong. Jeff Hafley proved me wrong. Anybody proved me wrong. We are fighting our way out of the FBS. I mean, what an absolute just beat Holy Cross, lost to Northern Illinois University, and we have number 3 Florida State. Oh, I'm going to lose my mind. They're coming in. I mean, out of sheer sanity and the weather, I'm looking at Chestnut Hill today before we started the show. About 70% chance of rain the entire game. And we're going to get demolished. So I have a 75-inch TV at home. I'll do the math. I'm going to think about it. I'll think about it. Honestly, this is one of those years. I'm not like my season ticket money is a donation to the school. Yep. They called me today to see if I was renewing my basketball tickets. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not renewing. And the kid didn't even put up a fight. And I know it's a kid like with a marketing degree in his junior year, and he's just making phone calls. But not even Mr. Lindsay, interesting. What made you make that decision? We don't have time for this conversation, Jimmy. I got to go. Yeah. We're terrible, and they did improve the pretzels. Did I tell you this?
Yes.
So excited. Best thing about BC football, we got better pretzels. That's all we got. Anyway, do we want to discuss the Red Sox? Or are we going to stay on the Patriots? What do you got for me? Tell me why I should be excited about the offseason since we're almost there. And when are we mathematically eliminated?
It's getting close.
It's getting close. She's almost here. She's in the bond. Yep.
So last night, Sedan
Yep.
Rafaela, rookie, hit a home run in his first at bat, or not his first at bat, but the first bat for the Red Sox last night. He hit his first major league home run. He is a highly touted prospect. He will remind you of Mookie Betts.
Okay.
So I would say don't get too attached to him because he'll be leaving in about 3 years. But the one thing to take away from this season is that they do have young players. Well, I mean, Devers is still young. He's tied up for a while. Casas looks like he's going to be a legit player. Duran was looking good before he got hurt. And then Rafaela and Reyes has come up. And, they have some young players that look decent, but they still got to go out. And the problem is they don't have any pitching prospects. They don't have – and pitching and defense wins, as we've shown this year.
Yeah.
You need pitching and defense. Their defense has been horrible this year. Their pitching has been horrible. And that's easily cost them, your prediction.
Yes, 96 wins.
Yeah.
I was very excited.
Maybe not 20 games, but they probably 10 games they cost themselves due to pitching and defense. I could safely say.
Did you see the thing that they said if the offer was right, they would move Trout, the Angels? Like what is going on with them? Like they pull Shohei off he's off the block, right? We're not trading him. He's got the arm injury, so now he's still hitting but not pitching, or is he pitching as well?
He's not pitching.
He's not pitching, just hitting because he can he's just DHing. Just DHing. So
he's not throwing at all.
Like, who's the person that I'm not even going to say in your wildest dreams because that's not what they do down at Fenway. Who's the person in all reality that we could honestly expect and be remotely excited about that they might pull the trigger on during the offseason?
I have
Starting
no
pitcher.
Confidence in them. I have no confidence in them. They need to do it, but so what I've been hearing is that the only way they're going to get an impact pitcher is by trade. That the free agent market is not good for pitchers this year.
Okay.
Last year there was this guy named Evaldi that was a free agent, and this other guy named Michael Walker that they could
never heard of him. Yeah, never heard of him.
So this year, what they've been saying on the radio is that if they're going to get an impact pitcher for next season, it's going to have to be via trade. And Chaim Bloom doesn't do trades well.
But do we have the pieces that we could pull off a trade with?
Well, that's
players?
The other thing.
Because are we trading Bayo, which makes no sense.
We do have prospects but I mean, if you're gonna pull off a trade to get a number one pitcher, well, I guess Ohtani's out on the market for a number one pitcher, but we know we're not getting him. We're not even. They're going to pull the Danny Ainge thing, They were so close.
They'll fly Danny Ainge in for the press conference. Yeah. Missed it by that much.
Yeah, they offered him $900 million. We offered, $500. Like, no, you weren't that close. You were $400 million off.
I can't remember if we talked about this, and I heard somebody say it, and it's so true. All of these owners, and I'm not picking on Bob Kraft, but I'll pick on Bob Kraft because I can actually, obviously we know the portfolio that John Henry has. You look at Bob Kraft, and some of us in New England, when he first took over, we were like, is this the guy behind the macaroni and cheese? It was very exciting. That's not him. They made their money with their paper company, right? So many of these owners have the foundational financing of what made them wealthy. And it would just be nice. And we're talking to John Henry tonight. Hi, John. You look fucking dreadful. He looks like Vanilla Dracula, doesn't he? Like, what is happening over there? What's happening? Anyway, I'm going to talk to him because he's the worst owner we have in Boston right now. And I say this with all due respect with everything he's brought us. But what the hell are you doing right now? My question for him, and I'll throw everyone else in the mix, all the other ownership in Boston, because certainly people have their qualms with Jeremy
I
Jacobs
think you
as
can
well.
exclude the Celtics. They're doing stuff.
No, they are 1,000%. And Wick's awesome. Like the whole Wick story is fascinating because, and I don't know necessarily the chronology of this, but he ultimately came to Boston because his son has a vision deficiency. I don't know if he's legally blind or fully blind, but he came for Perkins School for the Blind.
Yeah.
Like that, I think, is why they headed this way. And then he gets here and his friends are like, hey, you got your checkbook? You want to grab the Celtics? And here we are. And he's been awesome, right? He's been a great steward of the team. So, yeah, I'll go back to John Henry because he's a idiot. I almost said something different. It's fat. He's not an idiot. He's really smart. And he's too frugal right now. You want an ownership that, and I'm going to use Kraft as my example because he's got such a boring reason that he's wealthy. Hello, everybody. We've got a paper company. Like, it's so boring. And he's been a fan for so long. I need these owners that have whatever made them wealthy be that thing, and you can manage that however you want. I need your sports team. I need the ownership of your sports team to be your drunken weekend with your boys in Vegas. I need you to lose all logic. I need you to lose all rationality when you step into these conference rooms and just be like, how much does it cost? I don't care what the tax is. Figure it out. And let's put it on the field. They're not like and I'm not going down the road of he's got the football team in England and all that stuff. Those are all separate accounts. The morons that are New England sport fans are like, oh, he's spending money in the wrong places. Those are all separate bank accounts, you idiots, right? I'm not going down that road. But like, you did all this stuff. You're pouring money into making Fenway, as archaic as it is, it's still friendly Fenway. It's fun to go to. They add nuances every year. They're building it out as much as they can. And it really doesn't matter if you build Disney if the rides are fucking broken. And the rides are broken right now.
Yeah.
Like, I just need him to lose all consciousness and just throw his checkbook or get somebody who will write bigger checks. And I know it's a conversation between him and Chaim Bloom, but it's just, what are we doing? This is 2 years in a row at the trade deadline. We sat on our hands. And there's, to your point, and you're an uber Red Sox fan, what do you have no hope they'll do anything before we get to April?
Nope. I know. It's depressing again.
It's ridiculous.
So, there was hindsight being 2020. There was a player. I'm trying to think who it was that they were in for. They ended up not spending the extra money to get him. And it was he's on the Astros. He was with the Chicago White Sox first baseman, Abreu. So they were in for Abreu. They had a number set that they didn't want to go over. They didn't get him. They ended up getting Justin Turner. It actually worked out for the better. Jose Abreu's awful. He's like batting 200 for the Houston Astros, and Justin Turner is
been a spark.
One of the bright spots for the Red Sox. So that worked out. They actually did pony up money to get Yoshida. They outspent the next team by, I think, $20 million or somewhere around there. So they have the problem, I think it's Chaim Bloom. Like, it's his philosophy. Like, he has too much of the Tampa Bay philosophy in him that it's like, it's okay to trade. And people were talking about this on the radio the last couple of weeks, is that, so one thing with him being so gun shy, pulling the trigger on trades, is that the other general managers are not gonna, they're gonna see a phone call and like, oh, this idiot again? Yeah, we're not even gonna bother.
Right.
Because he's afraid to make a decision. With the whole trade deadline thing, it's like, are you in or not? And obviously he wasn't in, because he said the whole thing about, oh, well, the odds of us are against us. We're, looking. So, well, then sell. You have pieces that you could have sold to get young prospects here. You could have traded James Paxton. You could have possibly traded Chris Sale. You could have traded Justin Turner.
Yep.
Those were pieces. Adam Duvall. Those were all pieces that you could have went out and brought in prospects to actually help your team next year and down the road.
Yep.
And he did nothing. He got Urias, I can't remember how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Yes.
he's
believe you.
been decent for, we basically gave up nothing for him. And so he's been a decent bright spot, but I mean, you didn't commit one way or the other. It's like at the trade deadline, you're either a buyer or a seller, and you can't.
We were watching
like last year.
Yeah.
Last year they did both. They brought in Tommy Pham, and they got rid of some guys. It's like, are we in or out? And then this year they did nothing, and just got which looked like it was going to be just a minor leaguer to go forward, but he ended up coming up and has contributed. But it's almost like he doesn't have an identity for the team that he wants. He's all over the place. So I don't need a big splash type, because what happens, like you were saying, drunken weekend with the boys and just throw money out the window, whatever. That's been shown not to work also, because look at Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. He's spent and gone after thing, and it hasn't produced anything for him since he's done that. And the Yankees haven't really done much with that. I mean, they're one of the top spending teams, and it hasn't worked out for them in quite a while.
No, I appreciate
So
that.
there's kind of that middle ground
Sure.
where you need to go and get some stuff.
Make
but
it a little more fun than it is right now.
Yes.
Yes. Right now the Red Sox, I feel like I'm being audited by the IRS. I would like to feel like I'm waking up in a hotel room in Vegas with you and the rest of the boys from the show. I'm like, oh, dude, I can't feel my legs. Where's my wallet? Like, you know what I mean? And there's a middle ground in between those two things.
Yeah.
But I feel like
have
I'm
a great
in a
time
municipal-
and not lose your shirt.
1,000%. And I just and when you go back to how this all started, the idiots. Like when you looked at that team, and obviously there was the move that was made, Nomar leaves, OC comes in, all that stuff happens. But when you looked at that team in April, you're like, I don't know, But there was there was nobody like, oh shit. Like, okay, Damon Shore was proven at the time, or was a hitter at the time, but like, Kevin Millar, and all these people, but collectively they made a team. And I think there's the ingredients of that right now, but just the misplacement of some people on defense, and Brian Bayo can't pitch 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. I'm not seeing Chaim Bloom's vision for the future. You would think that this team we're not ready to add to this team and make a splash and get that one piece to put us over the top.
Right.
Then, you need to go out and get the building blocks, and he's not doing that. Like, it's so frustrating, and I'll be shocked if Alex Cora is back next year. Not that he's going to get fired. I think legit they're going to agree to part ways.
yes, it was best for everyone. Yes.
Yes, because I think the writing's on the wall that Alex doesn't agree with the way Chaim is building the team, and he's getting frustrated. And I think it's going to be, no, he's not. It's legit going to be a cordial breakup,
Do you think they slide Tech up?
So I keep hearing he doesn't want to be a manager.
Well, and I get that too, because when you bring his name up, people don't even realize he's in the picture, right?
Yeah.
And when you go to manager, there's a life expectancy, which is understood, right? And you sort of don't want to tarnish. No, like, no, I'm hanging in bedrooms around New England, putting my fist in A-Rod's face. I have it too, dude. I love that picture.
Yeah. Got it up there. So we have the picture of him shoving A-Rod's face, and then next to it we have him in Folk's arms
Yeah, yep.
winning the championship.
Which I thought he was going to break folks' spine when he did that.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually that Aiden was going to take that. Aiden, because we have, if you've ever been, welcome to the Golden Gloves in beautiful downtown Lowell. They always do all the sales of all those pictures, and we buy one like every week. And he ended up taking the one that he took was Big Papi after the bombing. This is our city, right? And he's got that picture, which is amazing. So he brought that, which is funny because his roommate at school is from Stowe, Vermont, but they're Baltimore fans. It's a long story. You can't make that face, dude. You're wearing an Aaron Rodgers shirt right now. And you probably 5 minutes before the show, you're like, damn, Marino, I don't know what I should wear. What should I wear?
I don't have a Merino one.
You don't have a Merino shirt? I don't believe you.
No, so for Christmas a couple years ago,
You asked for one.
I said Elway or Merino, and they got me the Elway jersey.
Interesting. We're going to have to do a 30 for 30, which is you on a GoPro going through all the clothes.
We have it right on our YouTube channel. If you subscribe and you go to the jersey of the day, you get to see all my jerseys.
I want like a whole show dedicated to you. Just grab a shirt, tell the story, grab a shirt, tell the story, grab a shirt, tell the story.
Yep.
With the matching
So
Jordans
actually, with
and
this
hat.
one, so I played quarterback in high school. I've always been a fan of quarterbacks. But I actually went to the Nike out. They used to have a Nike factory store up in
Kittree?
it's a Nike like factory up in it's
North Conway.
Kingston,
Oh, okay.
New Hampshire.
Okay.
Or right in that area. And it was, so they had a thing for first responders, like 50% off everything. So I went up there, and they didn't have any Patriots jerseys. They had this. This was the best one that I thought. Aaron Rodgers. This thing's probably 10 years old. It was in his prime in Green Bay when he wasn't a cuckoo.
There was as we get ready to head off into the night, there was a picture. There's been stuff going on all around the world. The earthquakes in Morocco have been horrific.
Yeah.
There was a remarkably human photo of a kid standing outside of his apartment building. I don't know if you saw this. And he's literally in flip-flops, basketball shorts, no shirt, holding his PS5. So my question for you is if, God forbid something was happening in beautiful downtown Lowell, God forbid something was happening to your house, and you could only grab, obviously, Tyler and Stephanie and Maggie, right? The cat's Maggie. Yeah, I remembered. And one shirt. You grab the boy, you grab the wife, you grab the cat. Yes. You grab one shirt. Of your thousands of shirts, which shirt do you grab?
Brady red. Actually, so as I've been doing this jersey thing, I know
I picture you going into a closet. This is almost like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and there's a door in the back of the closet, and you're like, oh, there's a whole new world back here.
I 100% had a blue Patriots Tom Brady jersey. I don't know where it is.
Is it at the dry cleaner? And there's a question everyone wants to know. When you wash them, God, answer this carefully. When you wash them, how do you wash them?
Oh, just normal.
Do you flip them inside out?
No.
So the numbers don't wear off, or all of your shirts embroidered?
No, they're not embroidered.
Okay.
But I wear them because I have so many of them. They don't get washed a lot.
I completely appreciate that. If they're not stained, you don't wash them. I get that.
If I had time,
do you have a base layer on right now?
It would definitely be my Tom Brady red retro jersey.
Okay.
That would be the one I would grab. Yeah.
Do you have probably my favorite Patriots red throwback jersey is the Kevin Falk? Do you have that?
No.
Such a great shirt. I love that shirt.
Yeah.
Love that shirt. Anyway, all right. Well, we are going to head off into the night. We expect we will have the troops with us next week. Actually, I got to be honest. I think next week it's you three. I think I'm on assignment next Wednesday. So it's you three next Wednesday for Rubber Shoes and, of course, Adam and Uncle Dukes. We appreciate you checking out the show. We'd love for you to subscribe and comment and like and, of course, share. And all of that is at atbshow.com. Rubber Shoes will be up at 2:53 tomorrow morning to get started on all the content, and we'll see you right back here next week. Rubber Shoes, have a wonderful night. Make sure you get that back into the closet. What do you have Brady's sleepwear? Is that what you go to sleep in? Do you have the TB12 sleepwear that apparently makes you feel invigorated when you wake up in the morning?
I should probably try it, but no, I do not have. Plus, it was
$1,000. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it wasn't free.
Yeah.
He
Put
didn't
a lot
make
of
it
my
free.
price point.
He didn't make it free. Well, it's not on your price point. You just have other things. You have inflatables for the pool and other retro jerseys you have to buy instead of that. All right, boss. See you soon.
Later.